in life by one, Jesus Christ. Verse 18. Therefore, as by the offense of one, judgment came upon all men. What does it say? Upon who? Here, speak to me. Upon who? All men to condemnation by the offense of one. Who is that one? Adam. By his offense, judgment came upon all. That judgment brought condemnation. Even so, by the righteousness of one, the free gift came upon all men unto justification of life. So, there is the first Adam, there is the second Adam. The first Adam is the Adam in the Garden of Eden. The second Adam is the man Jesus, the Christ. You know, I told you already that Christ is not his surname. So when I say Jesus, the Christ, I'm saying Jesus, the anointed one. I've explained this already. Are you with me? So, Adam sinned and brought condemnation. So in the beginning, it was not so. But when Adam sinned, that sin brought condemnation to all. Even so, the righteousness of one also will bring righteousness to all. Let's go to Romans chapter 5 and verse 10. Romans 5:10. The Bible says, for if when we were enemies, we were reconciled to God by the death of his son, much more, being reconciled, we shall be saved by his life. So, before Jesus Christ, we were enemies. That's what the Bible says. We were condemned. We were enemies. Enemies to God. Why? Because God cannot behold iniquity. So, that sinful nature is an enemy to God. Colossians chapter 1 verse 21. The Bible says by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses a matter shall be established. So we're going to call many witnesses today. Colossians chapter 1 verse 21. And you that were sometime alienated and enemies in your mind by wicked works, yet now has he reconciled. So we were aliens, alienated, separated, far from. That's what it means to be alienated. Enemies again. Enemies. That's what the Bible calls us. We were enemies to God. By our wicked mind, we were enemies to God. So, you need to understand this. In the beginning, God created Adam and Eve, and God wanted them to have a relationship, direct relationship with him. Adam sinned against God, and that brought a separation, made us enemies, made us alienated, made us far from God, cut us off from God, separated us from God. Adam actually died. It was not a physical death. It was a spiritual death, because God is a spirit. Man is a spirit. What gives the spirit of man life is the spirit of God. When God created man, he breathed into the nostrils of man, and man became a living soul. You cannot be a living soul without God. So when Adam was separated from God, Adam died. That's death, being separated from God. PSI here. And so because Adam was separated from God, we became enemies to God. We became alienated from God. We became distant from God. We were not the same in that same fellowship that used to happen in the cool of the evening. The Bible says in the book of Genesis that Adam heard the voice of God coming in the cool of the evening in the garden. And God said, Adam, where art thou? And he said, I am naked. He didn't say, how are you? He didn't say, how are you dressed? He said, where are you?